Apparently I did not have my mic connected. Wow. Yeah, I need to check my mixers more often. But yeah, I picked up this game on a Steam sale and because it looked interesting, and I'm gonna give it a try. But don't mind me though, I am kind of eating while I'm playing this. Let's see. This goes would be to have director's commentary.
Dear Esther, I've lost track of how long I've been here, and how many visits I have made overall. Certainly the landmarks are now so familiar to me that I have to...
I'm sorry.
remind myself to actually see the forms and shapes in front of me. I could stumble blind across these rocks, the edges of these precipices, without fear of missing my step and plummeting down to sea. Besides, I have always considered that if one is to fall, it is critical to keep one's eyes firmly open.
Okay, right click is a zoom. Destroyed boat. Music sheets? This lighthouse. Maybe I came off this pier. So I guess I arrived on this boat. That's a boiler. There's a bunch of paint in here. That's low poly. That's fair. This game's probably years and years old. That's toilet. Looks like shit, as one would assume. If there is anyone watching, you're welcome to chat. That's a formula for, I don't know what that would be. I mean, it's hydrogen, carbon, oxygen. It means a bunch of hydrogen specifically. Oh gosh, chemistry was forever ago. I don't remember how to interpret this stuff. But yeah, this has been thoroughly trashed. Oh. Stairs to the lighthouse have been trashed as well. A Hebridean history. Interesting. Nothing left inspecting there, I suppose. Oh. Lighthouse itself is trash. Here, actually, let's explore the coastline first. There's a radio tower over there. That's all the movement I have. I have to walk. Well, this is called Landmark Edition, so I assume this is like an update of the original. The original is probably much more low poly than this. Or, well, original was probably pretty low poly. So this version of the game is basically a texture remaster. Ah, it's a trap. Caught nothing. There's more.
When you were born, your mother told me, a hush fell over the delivery room. A great red birthmark covered the left side of your face. No one knew what to say, so you cried to fill the vacuum. I always admired you for that you cried to fill whatever vacuum you found. I began to manufacture vacuums just to enable you to deploy your talent. The birthmark faded by the time you were 6 and had gone completely by the time we met, but your fascination with the empty and its cure remained.
Doesn't matter which mount button I click.
Donnelly's book had not been taken out from the library since 1974. I decided it would never be missed as I slipped it under my coat and avoided the librarian's gaze on the way out. If the subject matter is obscure, the writer's literary style is even more so. It is not the text of a stable or trustworthy reporter. Perhaps it is fitting that my only companion in these last days should be a stolen book written by a dying man.
Pretty sure it's probably just myself in chat. Yeah. Alright, I'm back. Anyways, I suppose from what can be put together, or what's been said so far, is that this is an old man. And that Esther is his daughter. Right? I know what that is, I just don't remember what it's called. But that is something mathematical.
When someone had died or was dying, or was so ill they gave up what little hope they could sacrifice, they cut parallel lines into the cliff, exposing the white chalk beneath. You could see them from the mainland or the fishing boats, and know to send aid or impose a cordon of protection, and wait a generation until whatever pestilence stalked the cliff paths died along with its hosts. My lines are just for this, to keep any would-be rescuers at bay. The infection is not simply of the flesh.
This person's infected?
They were God-fearing people, those shepherds. There was no love in the relationship. Donnelly tells me that they had one Bible that was passed around in strict rotation. It was stolen by a visiting monk in 1776, 2 years before the island was abandoned altogether. In the interim, I wonder, did they assign chapter and verse to the stones and grasses, marking the geography with a superimposed significance that they could actually walk the Bible and inhabit its contradictions?
Kinda was this game did not discuss religious philosophy, but alright.
Dear Esther, I met Paul.
There's a shipwreck.
I made my own little pilgrimage. My Damascus, a small semi-detached on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. We drank coffee in his kitchen and tried to connect to one another. Although he knew I hadn't come in search of an apology, reason or retribution, he still spiraled in panic, thrown high and lucid by his own dented bonnet. Responsibility had made him old. Like us, he'd already passed beyond any conceivable boundary of life.
Oh.
I threw my arms wide and the cliff opened out before me, making this rough home. I transferred my belongings from the bothy on the mount and tried to live here instead. It was cold at night and the sea lapped at the entrance at high tide. To climb the peak, I must first venture even deeper into the veins of the island, where the signals are blocked altogether. Only then will I understand them, when I stand on the summit and they flow into me, uncorrupted.
Another mathematical symbol. I don't like what that looks like. Yeah, I don't know. Something over there. I can't exactly go up that cliff face. I guess I'm just heading this way. This game is slow. It's meant to be atmospheric after all. Oh, this is just my mic. I don't know. But yeah, I assume I'm playing as the father of Esther. And I guess Esther passed on.
I've become convinced I am not alone here, even though I'm equally sure it is simply a delusion brought upon by circumstance. I do not, for instance, remember where I found the candles, or why I took it upon myself to light such a strange pathway. Perhaps it is only for those who are bound to follow.
It's a Bible, I think, and chemistry book. Is that supposed to be like Esther's? I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, this is a walk-in sim, more or less. I seriously guess there are no viewers, but because I have one view, but and one current viewer, but again, that honestly might just be myself. Are they getting darker? It might be. I don't know.
Dear Esther, I have now driven the stretch of the M5 between Exeter and Bristol over 21 times. But although I have all the reports and all the witnesses, and have cross-referenced them within a millimetre using my Ordnance Survey maps, I simply cannot find the location. You'd think there would be marks to serve as some evidence. It's somewhere between the turn-off for Sanford and the welcome brake services, but although I can always see it in my rear-view mirror, I have as yet been unable to pull ashore.
That's a buoy. Phenomenal music, I gotta say. Something over there.
All night the boy has kept me lucid. I sat when I was at the very edge of despair, when I thought I would never unlock the secret of the island. I sat
And
at the
neither
edge,
did
and I watched the
he
idiot boy
eat nor
blink
drink.
through the night. He's mute and he's retarded, and he has no thought in his metal head but to blink each wave and each minute aside until the morning comes and renders him blind as well as deaf-mute. In many ways, we have much in common.
What? I was not expecting to hear that, but hey. Let me check what are the achievements. Oh, there's 10 achievements. Yeah, maybe one day I'll come back to do... I don't know. This ship is early boned. Looks like it's carrying a number of containers. It's like a small freighter. Oh. Apparently like 4 urns to find. No, they're here.
There must be a hole in the bottom of the boat. How else could new hermits have arrived?
Yeah, I know. Spooky. Spooky. Not really. I'm just trying to say stuff to keep this from being boring, I suppose. There's booyah in distance. And where's the tower? I probably can't see it.
I had kidney stones and you visited me in the hospital. After the operation, when I was still half submerged in anesthetic, your outline and your speech both blurred. Now my stones have grown into an island and made their escape, and you have been rendered opaque by the car of a drunk.
Rendered opaque.
Is this what Paul saw through his windscreen? Not Lot's wife looking over her shoulder, but a scar in the hillside, falling away to black forever.
Did Paul Bill Esther? Like, was there a car accident or something? That's what it sounds like.
I've begun my ascent on the windless slope of the western side. The setting sun was an inflamed eye squeezing shut against the light shone in by the doctors. My neck is aching through constantly craning my head up to track the light of the aerial. I must look downwards, follow the path under the island to a new beginning.
What's that? That's anesthetic and medical tools. Someone got injured? I mean, this is like a stable, so an animal? Or something? I think animals giving birth and to go pull out all the medicines and all that crap. Don't know what all these walls are for. Is this... Looks like foundational outlines. Were there perhaps a bunch of homes here once? Because that's what it currently looks like. Yeah, those are like the outlines of various foundations, or the layout of them.
The bothy was constructed originally in the early 1700s. By then, shepherding had formalized into a career. The first habitual shepherd was a man called Jakobsen, from a lineage of migratory Scandinavians. He was not considered a man of breeding by the mainlanders. He came here every summer whilst building the bothy, hoping eventually that becoming a man of property would secure him a wife and a lineage. Donnelly records that it did not work. He caught some disease from his malcontented goats and died 2 years after completing it. There was no one to carve white lines into the cliff for him either.
Yeah, let me investigate the shack. This, I don't know, this thing. Now there are like chemicals. I don't know what that is anymore. Where does that guy get? Where did that guy get? This guy get all that paint from? Oh. See the red tower. I guess I'm getting slowly closer to it. What is that supposed to be? This guy like trying to fathom the cosmos or some crap? You know, about to go meet Cthulhu? But yeah, I'm guessing this island used to be inhabited and all that.
When the oil lamps ran out, I didn't pick up a torch, but used the moonlight to read by. When I've pulled the last shreds of sense from it, I will throw Donnelly's book from the cliffs, and perhaps myself with it. Maybe it will wash back up through the caves and erupt from the spring when the rain comes, making its return to the hermit's cave. Perhaps it will be back on the table when I wake. I think I may have thrown it into the sea several times before.
I don't know, it's kind of... Okay, that was not me. Ooh, spooky bullshit. I bet there was someone up on that, like, cliff or something before. Or there's been, like, figured... Yeah, I don't know, I saw that person before. This guy is losing his marbles. Probably.
Jakobsen's ribcage, they told Donnelly, was deformed. The result of some birth defect, or perhaps a traumatic injury as a child. Brittle and overblown it was, and desperately light. Perhaps it was this that finally did for him, unable to contain the shattering of his heart. In half-light, his skeleton a discarded prop, a false and calcified seabird.
Well, whatever the case is the case.
They found Jakobsen in early spring. The thaw had only just come. Even though he'd been dead nearly 7 months, his body had been frozen right down to the nerves and had not even begun to decompose. All around him, small flowers were reaching for the weak sun. The goats had adjusted happily to life without a shepherd and were grazing freely about the valley. Donnelly reports they hurled the body in fear and disgust down the shaft, but I cannot corroborate this story.
think that's one of the urns. There's random ass traffic on here.
Come back.
Oh, that's another achievement. There seems to be some degree of maybe supernatural happening to this dude. A skeleton of a wooden ship. Is this an island of,
Climbing down to the caves, I slipped and fell and have injured my leg. I think the femur is broken. It is clearly infected. The skin has turned a bright, tight pink, and the pain is crashing in on waves, winter tides against my shoreline, drowning out the ache of my stones. I struggled back to the bothy to rest, but it has become clear that there is only one way this is likely to end. The medical supplies I looted from the trawler have suddenly found their purpose. They will keep me lucid for my final ascent.
I wonder why this guy can't run then. He's got a broken friggin' leg. Affected at that too. Someone toss themselves? If I head over there, it does not sound good though. What the shit? Good buoy.
Donnelly's addiction is my one true constant. Even though I wake in false dawns and find the landscape changing, flowing inconstantly through my tears, I know his reaching is always upon me.
What is this obsession with Donnelly's? Here we go. Here's supernatural, the alien shit, you know? Oh, nice. Bioluminescent fungus. Crawling. Hold on, let's see what this path is. Okay, I didn't check out that area, so.
Donnelly did not pass through the caves. From here on in, his guidance, unreliable as it is gone from me. I understand now that it is between the two of us, and whatever correspondence can be drawn from the wet rocks.
Okay, so this is where the guy's been getting the ingredients for the paint. He's been splicing it in orange somehow. So there might have been some kind of orange bioluminescent fungus or some crap up ahead. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they're here. How those even still?
Someone had taken the car and shaken it like a cocktail. The glove compartment had been opened and emptied with the ashtrays and the boot. It made for a crumpled museum, a shattered exhibition.
What? All of this shit about? Plenty of it's nonsensical and plenty of it's somewhat scientific. I don't know. Looks like this guy's been like deteriorating or some crap. But I guess those medical supplies I saw earlier were not for ammos or something. That was him operating on himself then. Possibly. Oh. Why did it like flip my screen? I don't even know. Fever dream. Very bright. How is this guy even walking up this? I'm expecting him to 100% like fall and eat shit at some point. I mean, this place was very deliberate and set path. I suppose. That's where I came from earlier. Now I'm making my way. So I guess the cave's just gonna spit me out somewhere? Yeah, it looks like...
If the caves are my guts, this must be the place where the stones are first formed. The bacteria phosphoresce and rise, singing through the tunnels. Everything here is bound by the rise and fall, like a tide. Perhaps the whole island is actually underwater.
Eggs? Oh, here. That was actually super lucky. But yeah, it seems like this guy is slowly dying. Fortunate. But I'm guessing this is some kind of like, for the most part, abandoned island.
When I was coming round from the operation, I remember the light they shone in my eyes to check for pupil contraction. It was like staring up at a moonlit sky from the bottom of a well. People moved at the summit, but I could not tell if you were one of them.
The old Damascus is taken, I think. Circuit? away from being a city. Behold, Damascus is taken away from being a city. And it... we have ruinous... I can't tell. I think it says a ruinous something. It shall be a ruinous shall? Maybe? I don't even know. I have to like try and liberate that exact texture from the files if I want to actually make it out. Because I think part of it is just kind of clipping, not clipping, but it's getting screwed over by the geometry of this place. So I can't see it very clearly. What an odd game. Well, a sunken city? There's a highway or something. Oh. Let me guess. The world's been ruined. I guess the ice caps melted, the world flooded, and this island's one of those last few refuges, or I don't know. Is that the narrative it's going for? I am not sure anymore. Okay. Last chapter. Esther. Well, chapter 3 is called Esther. Let's head left first.
I wish I could have known Donnelly in this place. We would have had so much to debate. Did he paint these stones or did I? Who left the pots in the hut by the jetty? Who formed the museum under the sea? Who fell silently to his death into the frozen waters? Who erected this godforsaken aerial in the first place? Did this whole island rise to the surface of my stomach, forcing the gulls to take flight?
There's an urn over there. I think that this guy is experiencing a state of delirium, or kind of like madness, as a result of isolation. And then, for the fact that he broke his femur and is not infected, it's causing him to be delirious. Like double fold. So to an extent, he's gone mentally full ape. Very beautiful game. That's not an urn. That's a paint bucket. Damn it. I probably shouldn't have done that. Anyways, it's okay. He's just going Morse on me, what the heck?
We shall begin to assemble our own version of the North Shore. We will scrawl in dead languages and electrical diagrams and hide them away for future theologians to muse and mumble over. We will send a letter to Esther Donnelly and demand her answer. We will mix the paint with ashes and tarmac and the glow from our infections. We will paint a moon over the Sanford Junction and blue lights falling like stars along the hard shoulder.
Perhaps the person I'm playing as name is Donnelly's. He's been carrying his own book with him this entire time. See the line in the cliff? There's stuff up there. I assume I'm gonna be wrapping around the coastline. No. No? Or no, I am. I'm gonna wrap around the coastline to slowly make my way up to that signal tower. Something like that. What is that? There's candles and a very specific formation. Okay.
There were chemical diagrams on the mug he gave me coffee in, sticky at the handle where his hands shook. He worked for a pharmaceutical company with an office based on the outskirts of Wolverhampton. He'd been travelling back from a sales conference in Exeter, forming a strategic vision for the peddling of antacid yogurt to the European market. You could trace the connections with your finger, join the dots, and whole new compounds would be summoned into activity.
Light from heaven shore. Around what? Around him? That was like an no. So let me quote the Raven saying. But nah, it's probably not. It's not. I just saw shore and I was like, oh, quote the Raven.
From here, I can see my armada. I collected all the letters I'd ever meant to send to you, if I'd have ever made it to the mainland, but had instead collected at the bottom of my rucksack, and I spread them out along the lost beach. Then I took each and every one, and I folded them into boats. I folded you into the creases, and then, as the sun was setting, I set the fleet to sail. Shattered into 21 pieces, I consigned you to the Atlantic, and I sat here until I'd watched all of you sink.
On a sudden, a light from heaven shore around him, and he fell to the ground. Eggs? Yeah, no, I'm not wrong. There has been a figure watching me, I think. This game's not even meant to be like a horror game, or I don't think it's supposed to be a horror game or anything. It's just,
The pain in my leg sent me blind for a few minutes as I struggled up the cliff path. I swallowed another handful of painkillers, and now I feel almost lucid. The island around me has retreated to a hazed distance, whilst the moon appears to have descended into my palm to guide me. I can see a thick black line of infection reaching for my heart from the waistband of my trousers. Through the fugue, it's all the world like the path I have cut from the lowlands towards the aerial.
minecart there for. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I was wrong about those being foundations earlier. Could have just been, I don't know, those, I mean, that's pretty nonsensical. Those walls, I just want to make sense of this thing. You again. What, who the fuck, or what the fuck are you? Oh, I can't get back up there. Beacon is the last chapter.
I've begun my voyage in a paper boat without a bottom. I will fly to the moon in it. I've been folded along a crease in time, a weakness in the sheet of life. Now you've settled on the opposite side of the paper to me. I can see your traces in the ink that soaks through the fiber, the pulped vegetation. When we become waterlogged and the cage disintegrates, we will intermingle. When this paper aeroplane leaves the cliff edge and carves parallel vapor trails in the dark, we will come together.
And as he was proceeding on this journey, and he, wait, no, hold on, let's just say, and has come near condemning, to Damascus, has come near to Damascus, and he was
If only Donnelly had experienced
3
this, he would have
days
realized he was his own shoreline, as am I.
with,
Just as I am becoming this island,
neither did
so
he eat
became his syphilis, retreating into the
nor
burning synapses,
drank.
the stones, the infection.
3 days. It was 3 days without shelter. No, not shelter. Rest? Rest, maybe? And it came to pass that as I made my journey, I think that was right. Rest was correct. As I made my journey. What's the rest?
Bent back like a nail, like a hangnail, like a drowning man clung onto the wheel, drunk and spiraled, washed onto the lost shore under a moon as fractured as a shattered wing. We cleave, we are flight and suspended, these wretched painkillers, this form inconstant. I will take flight, I will take flight.
He's gonna kill himself. Damn. Okay, and it came to pass that as I made my journey, and let's see what the rest is. Keep out. I'm gonna press keep out. Fence cliff ahead, keep away from extreme danger. Unstable cliff edge. And that just I made my journey. And was come. I can't read it. I don't know what it says. Noon. It works. really sure. I don't know. I can't tell.
He was not drunk, Esther. He was not drunk at all. He had not drunk with Donnelly or spat Jakobsen back at the sea. He had not careered across the lost shores and terminal beaches of this nascent archipelago. He did not intend his bonnet to be crumpled like a spent tissue by the impact. His windscreen was not star-studded all over like a map of the heavens. His paintwork etched with circuit diagrams, strange fish to call the gulls away. The phosphorescence of the skid marks lighting the M5 all the way from Exeter to Damascus.
I don't know. I assume Esther is daughter or something. I don't know. Damascus. Who are you? I think its head's following me. I can't tell.
I have run out of places to climb. I will abandon this body and take to the air. Dear Esther, I have burnt my belongings, my books, this death certificate. Mine will be written all across this island. Who was Jakobsen? Who remembers him? Donnelly has written of him, but who was Donnelly? Who remembers him? I have painted, carved, hewn, scored into this space all that I could draw from him. There will be another to these shores to remember me. I will rise from the ocean like an island without bottom, come together like a stone, become an aerial, a beacon that they will not forget you. We have always been drawn here. One day the gulls will return and nest in our bones and our history. I will look to my left and see Esther Donnelly flying beside me. I will look to my right and see Paul Jakobsen flying beside me. They will leave white lines carved into the air to reach the mainland, where help will be sent.
I think that's all there is. Was Donnelly the father of Esther then? And then I was playing with Paul Jakobsen. And perhaps Paul was keeping the book of Esther's father close by. I don't know. Come back. What? That was something. I'll definitely have to maybe go back and try to get the achievements. You didn't say? Stuart didn't say. Yeah. Real close to copyright or something crap right there, man. Oh, did they even... Based on the 2000 mod by the Chinese room. Mod? Oh, before we end things off there. Got some things to check. Alright, hold on. Sorry, I was looking at a bunch of stuff. My bad. Um, I'm going to be. I'm just gonna read the Wikipedia page. So, it's a 2012 adventure game developed by the Chinese. First released in 2008 for modification for the Source Engine game. Released for Microsoft Windows and Hybrid Scotland. To his deceased wife. Credit with Everybody's Gone to Rapture. Aberdeen Island. That's anyone. Here's a live fragments to deceased wife Esther. As the player reaches new locations on the island, the game plays a new live fragment there. Different live fragments revealed in each play for the game, presenting slightly different times. Several other characters are referred to by a man named Donnelly, who charted the island in the past, Paul, who is judged to be a drunk driver in the accident in which Esther died, a shepherd named Jacobson of the island. A player is exposed to evidence to find there remains of buildings, a shipwreck, and a cave system whose walls are adorned with images resembling chemical diagrams and circular neurons of bacteria. At various points, the figure is seen walk, but this period before the period. As the game progresses, the identities of the characters become more blurred, and players may have to draw their own conclusions of the story. Source Engine mod. Okay, hold on. What the hell is this outfit that Taylor Swift is wearing in this? What the hell? Okay, anyways. Dear Esther. Yeah, I don't know. Interesting. So it's built on the Source Engine. Uh, uh, the narration will trigger the player reads various key locations. 68 full runs in order to hear every fragment. Oh, so this is like someone's high quality art project as well. I did not want to do that. Well, I think that's it. There is nothing left. Oh.